We're back. Welcome to episode 2 of Fantasy Poolies Sports Talk. We're calling today's episode, guys. You want to know what the title is? 100 million reasons to talk football. I'm going to get to that in a sec. And first of all, a massive thank you. Guys, we had a lot of people tune in last week. So a big thank you to everyone who downloaded, watched on YouTube our comeback episode. The support was actually unreal. Like, I don't know how you guys felt last week. Like, we were at the Vaughan Soccer Club poker fundraiser, and I had a lot of guys, they were saying, hey, we watched it. It was a good job. I don't know, guys. 146 views on YouTube, 22 podcast downloads. One of our IG reels hit almost 24,000 views. So I don't know if you guys saw Stephen A. Smith's new $100 million deal at ESPN. I really hope you guys handed in your 2 weeks notice. I don't know if you guys did. I don't know what you would do with 100 million. Luca would probably buy maybe San Gimignano de la Imolese in Eccellenza.
For sure.
A stake in Juve. Okay.
I'm not sure how long Luca lasts with 100 million, to be honest.
He's got a lot of plans for it. That's for sure. You for sure pay off Barca's debt and sign yourself as number 10.
A lot of real PG moves I think Luca would make, maybe.
Buddy, I'd go straight to a place in Torino and leave 70 minutes into their game.
Not the restaurant that we went to back in January when Franco was extremely impatient. He's like, this place looks good.
Yeah, we had
the only bad restaurant in Italy. The only one.
You can't go off of any of Franco's recommendations. Absolutely not. Guy's an absolute joke.
What are we at with Franco chirps? I love it. Poor guy. We love you, Rouge.
Well, I mean, that's what our fans want. They want us to make fun of the Larrys, and Franco is the king of the Larrys.
Yeah, it's true.
Guys, last thing, if you're new here, tuning in, listening in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and download the episode so you never miss our hot takes, banter, and footy knowledge. Now, we've got a lot to cover today, guys. But before we dive in, I'm going to put a little call out. We need your help, audience. We're looking for someone to craft an intro song for us that captures, all of our chaos and banter, our personality. We need somebody. Penna, who do we need? We need somebody to. Is this a job? Somebody that writes like intro songs of some sort?
We haven't contacted Bad Bunny yet.
Nueva York.
Nueva York. Yeah, maybe we should shoot out a message to Bad Bunny.
Okay.
El Conejo Malo. Yeah, maybe.
What about Brax's Tetris band?
Yeah, maybe we can go get one of the bands from like a gypsy wedding that can come and make a chime for us. Then we can all bounce around on the driveway for 4.5 hours while they just hand you bottles of moonshine that have been in the cantina for 30 years.
This sounds like a personal experience of yours. Is this something you had to go through?
I've heard from friends. I've just heard from friends that have experienced that, not a personal experience.
Okay, fair. So, but all jokes aside, if you are that person or know someone who is, hit us up on Instagram. And speaking of support, we're always open to sponsorships and collabs. Last week's episode was brought to you by Addison Albert Events and the Genius Studios, who Penna just realized, who they are. And this week, we want to give a thank you to this week's sponsors, Marbell Contracting and Lookout Windows and Doors for their generous support.
Lookout Windows and Doors. There he is. While he just hangs out in Aruba and then tosses us some money to sponsor his company. What a guy.
You got to write it off. Write it off.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. He hates us. He's not even listening.
All right, guys. So if you're out there, if you're a brand that loves football and banter as much as we do, slide into our DMs or email us and let's partner up. So let's kick things off with the Premier League. You hosted Arsenal at Old Trafford and the match ended in a 1-1 draw, while City, they struggled. They continued to struggle, and they dropped a rough one, 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. 69, I think, percent possession in that game, but they just they failed to break down that Forest backline. Over in La Liga, Real Madrid edged out Rayo. Can you help me out here, Penna?
Rayo
Vallecano. With a 2-1 victory at the Bernabeu. Ancelotti's men, they went up 2-0 through Mbappe and Vinny before conceding right before halftime. However, the match was, I would say, La Liga was overshadowed by some tragic news with the passing of the Barcelona team doctor Minato Garcias. So that led to the postponement of Barca's match, and of course, we anytime something like that happens in the footy community, it's always sad news. And then over in Serie A, probably the hottest, not because we're biased and we love Serie A, but probably the hottest title race in all of Europe right now, where Atalanta delivered a statement. I think that's an understatement. A statement performance, thrashing Juve 4-0 in Torino. Lou, I don't know if you know, but this is the first time since 1967 that we've lost 4-0 at home. Gasperini, he just outclassed Thiago Motta through and through from start to finish. Inter and Milan both secured crucial wins, keeping the pressure on Napoli, who got back to winning ways in a 2-1 thrilling victory at home to Fiorentina. So the Serie A title race, guys, is tighter than ever, and the upcoming fixtures will be, we're in the home stretch here. Atalanta hosts Inter this week, so right away they're right back in a big match this weekend. And then the race for fourth place is very hot. Juve, Lazio, Bologna, Roma, Fiorentina, and potentially Milan, all within 8 points of that coveted final UCL spot. So, Lou, we're going to wait to talk about Juve. I know you got probably a lot to get off your chest. I still wore my gear tonight,
Yeah,
not the jersey. I didn't give them the jersey benefit of the doubt, but just threw a tee on.
I didn't.
But no. Okay. Penna, let's start with you. Talk to me about what you saw over in the EPL and La Liga this weekend.
Yeah, so pretty much my thoughts on the Prem is pretty much Man City. There's something missing within that squad right now. A lot of like the tiki taka, Pep style stuff with nothing penetrating. Possession. A lot of people, get real excited for possession, but possession has to have purpose, right? I think we see a lot of the limitation. This might be a little bit hot, but we see a lot of the limitation of Haaland. In my opinion, that's what I took from that game.
Why do you say that?
Because he's just like, listen, he's a fantastic player, but he's not really going to create anything for himself. Like he's one of those nines that's like, if the service is not there, if he's not getting opportunities, it's not like he's going to drop into a pocket and receive a ball and go play a combination or take on a player one-on-one to create his own chance. And like as I've been saying for the past 6 months, it's the demise of Kevin De Bruyne. It's a sad story in my opinion because he's given us such good football for so long, but watching that guy play right now is painful.
Potentially San Diego bound.
Yeah,
Nice.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Like that makes sense to me. Like he needs to make a move to MLS or.
But you just hate Haaland because he was they were saying Ballon d'Or. Everybody wanted to give him the Ballon d'Or, and you were not on that Ballon d'Or train when he was in talks.
I mean, he did score 8 million goals that year. Right? He deserved the.
I'm with you.
Yeah, listen, I get what Penna's saying, but I do think a lot has to do with their midfield and their creativity right now. I mean, and let's face the facts. Rodri is everything for that team. He tried to solve it with who? Nico Gonzalez.
Gonzalez from Porto.
Yeah, and it's just not the same, right? And a big issue. He, with Pep, he's always talking about goalies with feet, but Ederson needs to also make saves. I know this past game he was a mess. He made a big save right before the goal, but then he gets beat short side. Their back line has been terrible. They can't figure it out at right back. I mean, not that Kyle Walker leaving hurts them because he's been terrible at Milan as well. But Nico Lewis hasn't been that good. The Portuguese guy, Nunes, I think.
Mateus Nunes.
Yeah.
Nunes.
Sorry.
Nunes.
Yeah.
Tortas
Whatever. And I agree with Penna. KDB is done. And they need to figure it out. There's a lot of issues there. That's why Pep isn't the GOAT. And I said it. Because we all know who the GOAT is.
Who is it? Tell us.
Carlo Ancelotti. Come on.
No, Penna? No?
Well, I mean, one of them's coached 15 less years and has won more trophies than the other one.
Yeah, I know. But look at Carlo Ancelotti's hairline.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic. He's got a good head of lettuce. We like a good head of lettuce, and Carlos has it.
Here we do. No, listen, both amazing are what football needs. I love Pep, of course I do. But they do need to figure it out at City, and I imagine they will.
Yeah, he started kind of the process of entering some younger, bodies into the team.
Mm-hmm.
he's made some good purchases that he did in January, which will be, it's always hard to integrate, January signings into a Pep side.
Yeah.
But I thought, in the Champions League games, how is Kevin De Bruyne starting over like a Marmouche? There's just no way. But I think it's just, he understands how much the KDB did for that program for Man City. And I think out of maybe he's got
Tough.
one last kick of the can, one last game of brilliance. But man, did that not play out? And it's still not playing out. He just has to pretty much bench him, but I think he just doesn't want to do it. So,
fun fact: Marmouche has Canadian ties. Could play for Canada. Obviously won't.
Obviously not.
But I believe his parents were from Canada.
Wow.
And he was here for 6 years of his life. I think his first 6 years of his life. Or one of those.
So he's like all the other guys who have played for the other countries. Sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's a cristante.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Penna, anything over in Spain this weekend? I mean, obviously, Barca didn't play, so
we also didn't speak about the Arsenal Man U game.
Go.
Just want to add one thing into there. I mean, me being a number 9, maybe I have a little bit of bias here, but I just think the game from this weekend just proves the Gunners can never be taken serious until they find the 9. That's just the reality.
They have injuries.
That's the reality. Yeah, but they still don't even have a 9. Kai Havertz is not a 9. Gabi Jesus is not a 9, right?
But more than serviceable in this game.
Yeah, but it's go out, and if you want to be taken serious and you want to think about winning a Prem or winning a Champions League or whatever their aspirations are, there needs to be an investment in a 9.
I got a guy, Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Take him.
Yeah.
They could have him if you want.
I mean, been linked with him.
Yeah,
but I'm sure after he slipped and gave Lukman an assist this weekend, I think his value dropped 15 million euros over this weekend.
Leave it.
But we're going to talk about it later. Sorry for bringing it up. I know it kind of hurts you guys, but Vlahovic's stock is like the stock market at the moment, just all red. Jeez. Doesn't get more red than what we're experiencing right now.
Ice cold. He has been ice cold.
Yeah, so that's my one comment about Arsenal. They have fantastic pieces, young pieces. It's looking like a team that might be able to win a Prem. But if they're serious about winning it, I think this summer needs to be let's get the big bucks out. I mean, I think the guy that they need is in the league already.
I was going to say, who do they go for here?
Alexander Isak. He's right there. He's within your grasp.
But isn't Barcelona going after him?
I mean, Barca's been linked with. I mean, he's a world-class striker. Everyone and their mother is going to be linked with him this summer. Maybe be a Jokeres from Sporting. That guy bangs goals for breakfast. But they need to have a goal like Haaland in Arsenal. You drop Haaland into Arsenal, they're winning the Prem. That's what Arsenal kind of needs right now. But yeah, it is what it is.
La Liga.
I mean, obviously, most of the action was overshadowed by the death of the Barcelona doctor, unfortunately. But Atletico Madrid, looked like a typical another Atletico Madrid win, 1-0 in their block, defending well. And then Angelito Correa lost his mind. Pretty much. Straight red.
Why? What did he do? I missed it. What did he do?
He got a straight red. Just an absolutely shocking tackle. And striker red cards in the 88th minute to turn a game. That's just a big no-no in footy.
Just a Tino blow-up? He just had a Tino moment?
Good old Tino, yeah. Just a good old Tino moment.
I love those.
And then Mauro Arambari, Uruguayo, for Sporting, banged them for 2 goals.
Jeez.
So, pretty fired up about that. He's battled some injuries, but he's always been a fantastic player. So nice for him to score 2 big goals to kind of get his career back on track after all the injuries. Yeah, and then Real Madrid, as we kind of mentioned, they were fortunate to come out with 3 points, if you want my honest opinion. Real fortunate to come out. There were times in that game where they were pinned and, a couple of big saves, a couple of moments where if Rayo had some more kind of world-class talent, would have probably ended with better opportunities. But again, Real Madrid finds a way. So kudos to them for 3 points. And now they're tied with Barca with the 1 game extra. I just think I think it'll develop into a 2-team race, if you want my honest opinion. I see Atletico, with all the games coming up and things like that, I see them maybe falling off a tad.
Who's got the easier schedule going here?
The problem with the schedules, Loms, it's not even just the schedules. It's if Barca advance, if Madrid advance, it's going to be the accumulation of games, right? Like we're going to see it, they play a Champions League game on Tuesday, then they have to play on Saturday, then they got to come back and play on Wednesday. Then, you pick up a couple of injuries, a guy gets his fifth yellow, right? It's not so much the opponents, because realistically, Barca and Madrid are going to be favored in every game until they play each other. So every other game is going to be favored. It's going to be a matter of how many games do they have to play in such a tight window and how many intense games they have to play in such a tight window. So yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a fascinating race. Obviously, you mentioned the Serie A race is pretty awesome, but the La Liga one's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it's right there. It is right there.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
And we might even get, so someone dropped a comment on one of our reels. It's about time we get Real Barca Champions League final. So
that would be the best thing ever. You'd have to shut down the entire city because that
Richmond would be popping for sure.
That would be reminiscent of when Boca played River in the final, that they had to go play the game in Europe because like you couldn't play that game anywhere in Argentina or in South America. That had to go to a different continent with proper police work and not the police of South America, where you slide them $10 and you can walk into the stadium with whatever you want. Yeah,
like at Copa America last year.
Yeah, like
in Miami.
Copa America. That was hilarious. Yeah. Hey, let's put this little barricade here that you can blow over by taking a deep breath, and that'll hold down these 10,000 people. God, was the United States not ready for Copa America? Amazing. Hopefully they've learned and they're ready for the World Cup, because it's going to happen again if they're not.
Well,
ready.
They got the Club World Cup first, and then they
got
a couple.
Test them in 2025. No, maybe try and hop a couple barricades, see what they're doing this year, or no.
I wonder if that job is posted anywhere. Like
they need head of security,
fence hopper.
They need Ray Donovan. I think they got to hire Ray Donovan, or I don't know, something more intense than whatever they had.
Lou, let's talk about let's go Serie A here with let's start with the big boys, because let's call a spade a spade. Juve is not at the top. We're a big club, but we're not one of the big boys this year. Napoli win. Inter, interesting game, but they pulled out the result as well. Milan got back to winning ways, down 2-0 away to Lecce, and came back 3-2. Atalanta absolutely thumped us, and I think, imagine where they would be if they didn't tie. I think it's Venezia
at home.
Venezia, Verona, and Udinese, if I'm not mistaken, who we talked about Udinese putting together a solid campaign here. So Atalanta, absolute drubbing. And talk about possession. I saw this after the game. Juve had 63% possession in that game. And our XG, the beautiful stat, the XG, expected goals, 0.73. Atalanta with 37% possession. You guys want to know what their XG was?
3 point something.
3.73. Yeah. 3.73. 19 shots total, 9 on goal. Just an absolute thumping. Juve fans, we watched the game. Stadium was half empty at 3-0. The whistles were raining down hard, but Serie A, the title race is hot, and then the race for fourth is even hotter. Lazio did Juve a little bit of a favor today by tying Udinese. So for now, Juve sticks in fourth, but they got Fiorentina coming up this week, that's not an easy game. Solid team, and you got to think Thiago, if that game doesn't go well for Juve next week, Thiago Motta's got to be worried. No, like, does he make it past that Fiorentina game if they lose that match? I don't know.
I read an article today, Allegri coming back.
Tudor calls to Tudor in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, I'll start with Inter. That's why Inter is one of the best teams, because, they go down 2-0 on 2 very good goals. Keita Balde doing it for Wanda.
Wanda?
Right? Wanda did it for Wanda. 2 very good goals. And then Inter had 28 shots on net, and that's why they're an amazing team. Like, I've seen Juve battle those games, and they still not as dominant as they need to be. Inter was dominant, deserved to win, and amazing goal from Çalhanoğlu. Unreal
Beautiful
finish. Yeah, unreal finish. But they're just a powerhouse, I think someone like Denzel Dumfries doesn't get the love he deserves. I personally think he's one of the best wing backs in the world. I can say that. He's good defensively. He's good going forward. He's an absolute menace. Like, you don't want to play against that guy. Ever want to play against that guy?
Forward.
Even though he never smiles.
Remember that game he played against Savona, and we were literally yelling at the TV. Like, how did he not score in that game? He is so dominant, and if you have the wrong fullback on his side, you better watch out because it
scored
is
a first
big
half
trouble.
hat trick. I've never seen a fullback have more chances in one half, and somehow he ended with no bonuses, nothing.
Yeah, crazy. But that's them. Milan, I can't even talk about them. Like, Lecce is a terrible team. I guess congrats, you beat Lecce. Your first win in how many? And they've lost quite a few. So that team's struggling. And
He benched Leao and Joao Felix to start, though.
Yeah, I think his hand was forced, though. It was about time. He had played them enough as is. Do you want me to get started on you?
Talk about Lazio, because Bruno got mad at us that we didn't talk about Lazio.
You know what? And they deserve respect, eh? They deserve respect. Zaccagni's on fire. The zest of Zaccagni lives.
Why do you call it the zest of Zaccagni? I've heard you say this before, but I have no idea. Why do you call it the zest of Zaccagni?
See, this is where we'd be a legit podcast because you show the clip. When he scores against Croatia, the commentator goes, "And the zest of Zaccagni." And that's why it always continued. What a goal.
It's stuck. It's stuck.
Me, Ghoul Sauce, and Rick were there live. One of the best. It is the best sporting moment I've ever got to witness, only for us to be destroyed 2-0 by Switzerland.
You witnessed it live. You guys won a World Cup, so I'm assuming that's probably the best.
Yeah. I meant live sporting moment. Okay. Yeah.
You've been to, you're a veteran of international football tournaments at this point.
Yeah, 4 Euros I've been to. 4 Euros. Yeah, I got it good.
Must be nice.
But now I get my first World Cup in 2026. Gonna enjoy it.
Must be nice.
If we ever get tickets, because I'm hearing they're an arm and a leg. Good luck. Everybody.
Yeah, my mom asked me last week. She said, "Hey, do you think we could get some World Cup tickets? Do you have any hookups?"
Yeah, like you can use your MLSE card from.
The one that I used to get into Century Room.
The MLSC card's only going to get you into the VIP room at Real Sports. That's all it's going to accomplish.
Steiner still uses it.
It's going to get you into the VIP Real Sports. Not sure if it's going to get you into Hard Rock Stadium, Miami.
You don't need anything to get into that stadium. You just hop the fence.
No, that one you just literally hop over the fence, or you climb in the vents. You just go through the ventilation system. It's like if you want to get into a stadium in the United States, just watch Ocean's 11 when the Asian guy goes through the vents, and just find the way to do that into every stadium, and you're good.
We need a little guy.
Joey Cheech. Cheech is on our team.
Joey Cheech will be able to get through the tunnel system or the vent system into every stadium.
Okay, perfect.
Problem.
Yeah, but back to Lazio, just a steady Eddie team, always giving you solid performances. Zaccagni's been unreal. Solid mid. Even Rovella leaves us, and somehow he's a good piece somewhere else, and then everyone else is scrap. I'd rather Rovella than Coop Miners right now. I can't believe I'm saying that. Think about that. You don't? Like, that is a wild statement. We paid $60 million.
Rather have any midfielder in the Lazio midfield over Coop Miners right now, which is crazy.
I think was a piece. That's the thing with modern footy now. It's all about how you can monetize players that you pay very little for. So Sule and Huijsen and Rovella, these are guys that you get for next to nothing, and then you get a big, price or you get a big offer that comes in, and it's like plus valenza. It's for the accounting books. It's good, but you're right. I mean, honestly, I always loved Rovella. In the little bit that we saw, I thought he was like the piece that we were missing. Not saying he's like him in any way,
by no means, yes.
He's a 6 like Pirlo was in that midfield we had with Pirlo, Marchisio, Vidal, those guys, where he links play from the back to the front. But what'd you see, Lou or Penna? I'm sure you watched it in that Atalanta Juve game. Like, just toothless.
Yeah, toothless because we just played into exactly how they wanted us to play. Our useless possession that we create nothing from. Nothing. And it's been the whole year. I watch every game, and it's the whole year of useless possession. Yildiz was on maybe a 4 voto, and I think the pressures of being a number 10 at 19 years old is really getting to him, because he's had a really lackluster year. And I'm not giving up on the guy. He's 19 years old. And I know it'll be better. And it's harder at Juve. everyone in their low block against us looking to counter because they could exploit us.
But he's also playing him out of position. He's a 10. He's a 10, and he's playing him out wide because he's accommodating
Come on, he can play
minors.
wide, guys. If you can't play as a 10 wide in modern day football, of course you can.
But he's a 10. He's a 10 that I haven't seen in a really long time, like a true 10. And he's playing him out wide because we've talked about this before. Coop Miners is probably a Mota guy who he said, I got to have him. I want him. And now he's sticking by him and he's playing him through thick and thin. And he's moving around McKinney and everybody just to accommodate him. But the thing for me that was troublesome is I watched the post-game interview with Mota, and he's like, Atalanta did exactly what we thought that they were going to do. And I was like, what? Okay, well, that's an even bigger problem than in my mind.
Our faces off?
Yeah. So you were prepared for it, and you still took 4.
That's what I'm saying, right? And he's like, if it wasn't for the dubious penalty call at the beginning, first of all, it wasn't dubious. Like, it's a PK. In this modern day football, that is always a PK. Whether that should be a PK or not is a different story, but it is a PK, in this day and age of football. Correct. Like, he harped on it like 4 times. Like, buddy, shut up, man. Shut up.
He needed his get out of jail free card, and the PK was what he was harping on.
And like, he's not wrong, because up until that point, it was a very even game. Boring, even game. And that's fair. He's right. But I mean, that's football. To add to your point with Yildiz, I will say that the number 10 position has evolved, right? And I don't think Yildiz does enough of the defensive work and proper defensive pressing to play there. And I think that's why it's kind of like he has to play out there. McKennie does provide a lot for us. He is an engine in the 10.
Probably our best player this year.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and that's why we are where we are.
Which is why you are.
Correct. And, when McKennie's our best player and he's our 10, like, think about that at Juve. Would you ever
think about the 10s that Juve has had? That Weston McKennie is your 10 on Juventus right now.
It's crazy.
And we love McKennie, for the record, eh? We love him. Solid player.
Baller.
Have time for him.
Baller. Yes.
And should we tell him the story we heard in the cab about McKennie? That he just drives a cabbie in Torino told us that McKennie just drives around in a black Ferrari with a white stripe, and he has an own personal driver, and he just sits in the back with his feet up.
He just sits there wheeling broads on Instagram.
And you said it.
Literally,
I don't want to go deep into that, but that's exactly it.
Yeah, he's got a good catalog.
Some might argue that McKennie is the best player in the world.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's shift our attention to this week's UEFA Champions League. Round of 16 return legs kick off tomorrow as we're talking about this, guys. Barcelona face Benfica, leading 1-0 from the first leg. Liverpool set to clash with PSG. I don't even know how PSG did not win that first game. You want to talk about XG, like, they were all over them like crazy. I can't even believe they didn't score a single goal in that game, but sure enough, that's how footy goes. And then the return leg of the Madrid Derby. I think those are probably the 3 highlighted matches that at least I have circled on my round of 16 calendar. Borussia Lille still all to play for there. But Penna, let's start with you. Is this a cakewalk for Barca coming back home? I mean, I say that lightly because there's never a cakewalk in the Champions League, but you gotta like where you're sitting right now is what I'm saying.
I definitely like our position going into the game. I will say that I've been reading on the state of the locker room right now after the death, and I think that's going to play a big factor tomorrow. It's so fresh that, we forget that these professional footballers are human beings at the end of the day, and losing a piece that you see every single day, a piece of the team who tragically passes away unexpectedly will play a factor in the game tomorrow for sure.
But you got to think that's a good thing. Like, not that he passed away. Please don't get me wrong. But as a player, I would be fired up.
Motivational thing. Yeah. And, it could also work as like he's been treating these players, and now tomorrow no one's going to treat them. Like, he's not treating these players. Like, he's not going to do the ART therapy. He's not going to tape their ankles. He's not going to. Right? Supposedly they were there they showed up and then they went for nap time. And supposedly, like, he just passed in his nap.
I don't know why I think, like, was he a young guy or an old? I don't know why I think, like, team doctor for Barcelona, my mind automatically goes, oh, this guy was, like, old. Not that it makes it okay.
No, but like, he wasn't to the age where he should have passed in his sleep kind of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, Will they use it as a motivational tool? Yes, but I've read that like Flick, because Flick, he's a fantastic coach. He has the state of his locker room in order always, and he's already been making comments about like this is going to be a very complicated game because it's not entirely about football tomorrow. Like there's other elements involved in the preparation for the game, right? Because like they have to figure things out. Like there's roles that man plays that now you have to find out how we're going to do it for tomorrow, right? So
But surely they got it. They have other people. I'm not saying maybe they weren't as good as him, but
yeah,
you got to think somebody slides in there.
like head doctor of Barcelona, that's like top of the top, right? So you're not just going to replace that guy from Sunday to Tuesday morning. That's not how that works, unfortunately. But
Prediction?
obviously going into it, we're in a good position. Luckily, okay, we have a suspension, but okay, Araujo, you're up. Like, luckily, we got the red card in the one position where we are stacked, so we shouldn't be affected by that.
Prediction?
Prediction: I think we're going to win. I would call it. I think Benfica will come out to press us, I think, early, which will be a surprise for Barcelona opponent. But I see us winning this one, maybe 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 Barca would be my prediction. Just because I think they have to detach a little bit more bodies forward to try and nab something. And even with the like leading up to the Reddit in the first game, like we should have scored already one, and that's on the road. Now we're going to have all 11 players, and them knowing that they have to come out and get a result, I think plays into exactly what we want to do. But Rafinha, man, Rafinha
Shout
right
out my
now
boy.
it's funny because the whole talk of the summer was like Nico Williams. That was like the big shiny, played for Spain, is boys with Lamine, good relationship. And I was actually watching a account that like some like Barcelona fan account, and he always posts stuff. There's literally like this was the motivation to the Rafinha season. A famous like a famous fan of Barcelona who runs like a big like fan account posted Nico Williams with Rafinha's number 11 jersey and like got the jersey like printed like Nico Williams number 11, and Rafinha is in the comments with like the crying like laughing face, and he does like 10 of them on the guy's account, and I think he just used that as like fuel all summer, because obviously these guys are not numb to it. They hear all the noise on the outside.
Hold on, Lou. As a fellow number 11, if you're Rafinha, like what comment are you dropping on that? Because 11, for those listening
I
out
can't
there,
say it on this podcast.
Luca Forno and 11 are
LF11.
synonymous.
They are synonymous. I would lose my mind. You could an egotistical Brazilian who knows he's that good can use it as motivation. But I gotta shout out my boy Daniel Casa, who has a futures with Rafinha winning Ballon d'Or. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Listen, he's probably top 3 right now. You gotta think
right now
Salah.
he's second. He's second or
I
third.
think so too. So it's a crazy shout. His
would
odds
come
have
down
definitely
to-
come down.
It would come down to if Barcelona wins Champions League, the shout becomes real high.
Yeah.
Because right now it's Salah.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Like if you had to vote tomorrow, Salah.
For sure.
Even though he's a little bit of a penalty merchant in the Prem, a tad penalty merchant. I think he has double-digit goals already from pens.
You think it's
You
easy?
still gotta finish him though.
You think it's easy?
It's true.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
Still gotta
But
finish him.
yeah, Rafinha would be 2, I guess. Mbappe's on a pretty crazy tear
Gotta
right
be
now.
3.
Yeah,
I think odds have it Salah, Mbappe, Rafinha right now. Today, which is reasonable, right? And I think
a lot will
Mbappe
come
just
down to
gets
what
it.
happens in Champions League.
Yeah.
Is what's going to decide it, right?
Yeah.
Lou, talk to me about PSG Liverpool. Talk to me first about what you saw in that first leg, because I think we filmed in between there last week.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you saw in that first leg, and then now what you like. Are we going to see the same game next week? Probably not, but like, are we going to see the same? Now they're at Anfield, different stadium. Liverpool's at home, but can we expect a PSG peppering again?
I don't think so, because Liverpool has been spot on all year. That is the first time I've seen them get absolutely dominated. And I can confidently say that Alisson Becker was world's best goalie. Not only did he make a ton of saves, a ton of crazy saves. He even started the goal in the 87th
9
minute.
saves.
9 saves, but like 5 were like expected.
5
goals.
were like hilarious.
Expected goals.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
But that's typical Liverpool. Liverpool, they were so good defensively, and still they created chances. Kvara was a handful. He got a surprise start, and he was a handful for sure.
What was his name?
Kvara Shelia.
Kvaratskhelia?
You ever see Conte, by the way? Side note,
What?
off topic, on topic, but off topic. Conte try and say his name, and then he
No.
always just fumbles, and then he's like, "Il Giorgiano, il Giorgiano."
I like that.
But he was on a crazy game breaker that day.
Crazy. And you saw the offside. I think we'll save that for another segment discussing the offside rule, because that's a tough one. Although it was his heel. But what are we talking here?
Offside rule needs a change. We've already spoken about it.
And then he scores a worldie. An absolute
worldie. You sell it. You're fired up. Hey, sorry, your heel's offside. Okay.
Yeah. But good finish. I mean, we could point the finger a little bit at Donnarumma. Not that I think it's totally his fault, but when you watch Alisson make all those saves, and then you're called upon that one time on their first shot on target.
You need the one.
And you get a hand to it, I feel like you should save it.
You need the one.
But that guy is different.
When York is playing Laurier away, and you maybe have like one thing to do all game,
can you?
When your name is
Sotiri,
you just got to do that one thing, right?
And it's, you know what? Like, all kidding aside, it's a really hard thing to do, right? Especially at that level. Imagine at that level. Like, it wasn't like Harvey Elliott hit it good with his left foot. Hit it nice. Yes, we expect more from Donnarumma, because with Italy, he's the second coming of Gigi. But with PSG, he is bang average.
Penna, what are your prediction, Lou? PSG Liverpool return leg?
I got 1-1.
That's a boring prediction.
So Liverpool progresses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Liverpool's not progressing at Anfield.
Okay.
Who are you kidding?
Penna?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think there's anyone in the footballing world that thinks that PSG didn't deserve way more out of that tie. Mbele, my former Barcelona guy, I was a big guy about him when he was at Barcelona. He turned back into Dembele at Barcelona, even though he was probably the hottest player in the world. I couldn't finish a sentence in that game, but I think it'll play out kind of similar, to be honest with you, because I feel like Liverpool's comfortable kind of playing in that style to the counter. And I just think Liverpool's fullbacks, as incredible as Trent is going forward, which we all know, maybe the best attacking fullback that we've ever seen. Man, is he a liability defensively.
Well, that was bold, eh? Can we call him out on being bold?
About what?
One of the best attacking.
Trent Alexander-Arnold attacking fullback?
Yeah. Hold on, he's unreal, but like, we're talking one of the best.
And I'm a Barcelona fan. The only one that I can think better is Dani Alves, and I think Trent's better going forward.
This is crazy.
You guys don't actually think that? Trent Alexander-Arnold.
He's world class.
Yeah, world class. Yes.
Going forward, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best fullback that we
Roberto Carlos?
Trent is better going forward. The problem with Trent is that he can't defend.
Fonzie?
If Trent could defend even to an average level.
Fonzie?
Sorry?
Fonzie?
You thought you were talking about some Uruguayan player?
Fonzie que juega donde? Fonzie. No, wait. Alphonso Davies going forward is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold?
No, but like the best ever. Like,
dude, this guy gets double-digit assists in every season. What fullback do you know? Give me one fullback in the history of football that gets double-digit assists every year.
So you're taking Trent Alexander-Arnold over Roberto Carlos?
Like, no. Like, overall, no. But as
So
if I need to turn a fullback, say I'm losing. Say I'm losing 1-0, and I need a fullback to go and give me attacking opportunities. It would be Trent or Dani Alves.
Oh, not Savona.
No, Savona would be serving hot dogs on the sidewalk outside. That's what he would be doing if I was the coach of a team.
What about Jordi Alba?
Yeah, Jordi Alba's wicked too, but dude, if Trent got dropped into that Pep team with Barcelona, he would get 20 assists a season. But just going forward, I know he's terrible defensively.
No, we got it. We understand what you're saying.
If you ask me who would I choose overall,
yeah.
Cafu, Roberto Carlos,
Maicon.
I pick them over him.
Maicon.
I'm saying merely
Calafiori.
Phase of the game.
Play anywhere.
The attacking phase of the game, it's Trent.
Like he's one of those basketball guys where it's like an
Lou Williams.
Throws. Yeah.
He's like Lou Williams.
You put him in on the attacking and then you take him out on the defense.
You gotta get him the hell out of there.
He's like a futsal player. Like a futsal.
Prediction, Penna.
It's Anfield though. That's the problem. It's Anfield. Like it's got a mystique to it, It's
You see what Dybala said?
What did he say?
The only place that compares to the Olympico is Anfield.
Anfield.
Anfield is better than Olympico,
Yeah, he did say that, but he said Olympico is insane.
It's got something to it. So, but I just think I'll say PSG beats them.
Advances,
Beats them, and it goes to 30 more. And then I think Liverpool will advance, but I think PSG will force it to go into added time.
I'm going to take Liverpool. I'm going to take Liverpool. Anfield, I'm not going to bet against it. Madrid Derby, go quick.
I spoke about this in the first episode. Atletico will play the exact same way. It's going to be the exact.
We're all taking.
It's going to be the carbon copy of the game. Will they be able to get a magical moment? Will Julian Alvarez make something from nothing? They'll defend. They'll be disciplined. They will try and frustrate. That is what Simeone does in all these big spots. I just wish that one time he just threw his tactics out the door and said, let me surprise them. Let me go play them. They think I'm going to sit in the block. Let me go press them and let me try and get one early. And then let's see how they react when they're on their back foot. But his DNA is not that.
If he played on Iceland, somebody would say, I know this guy. Triple deep glove side every time.
Yeah.
You should have a segment for your movie lines, Log.
Triple deep glove side. And then all of a sudden, Ryan Gosling comes and says, I can't play against these guys.
For the record, he's going to remember the Titans.
I'm switching gears.
He's transitioning bikes to remember the Titans.
And then the CEO, the president of Atletico, says to Simeone, if you want to give him your spot, you go ahead and give it to him.
And then for just one game and one game only, Pep Guardiola comes in and changes all the tactics of Atletico Madrid. No, but Madrid's going to win tomorrow. Real Madrid.
All three of us, same page here?
Yeah, I got 3-1 Real.
Real Madrid's going to win tomorrow. Mbappe will start turning into an alien on the field. Jimenez will get mad, get a yellow card. Same story, unfortunately.
Guys, let's go to another new segment this week. We're experimenting.
Oh.
The pod's back and we're experimenting, guys.
What were the ratings and the comments about our first In the Locker segment?
Nothing. We got nothing. So you know what? If you don't perform,
gotta change it up.
Gotta change it up.
Absolutely.
Petey's sitting on the bench and he's ready to come in and play corner. So it is what it is.
We still got to call out our mistakes, Like Penna, you got to apologize for the Dragao mistake.
Oh yes, you're right. I apologize to all my Portuguese friends. For some reason, I confused Dragao and Estadio de la Luz, which is a ridiculous mistake for me.
Not like you, Not like you.
I don't know why I mixed those two up because Darwin has played for Benfica.
Luckily, we have Rick at home just waiting with a pen and pad. What are these guys getting wrong?
We're thinking about that segment.
In honor of all the Portuguese people, I'm going to go to the bakery tomorrow in Vaughan, the Portuguese bakery. Nice. I'm going to have a nice Portuguese breakfast.
No, not the egg on the steak. It's nice. You don't like that one,
Not me.
Not a steak guy in the morning. But let's go to our new
in the morning.
Let's go to our new segment, guys. I'm going to call it Half-Volley Hot Takes in honor of Çalhanoğlu's beautiful goal. Half-Volley Hot Takes, and that's because they're quick, they're powerful, and straight to the point. So the first one, guys, I don't know if you saw the news that Gerard Piqué made, but he came out and said a change that he would make to football is any 0-0 ties would get 0 points. You don't get the 1 point if for a 0-0 tie, you get 0 points. So I see you shaking your head, Luke, because personally I'm here for it. You know what? Anything to make the game more entertaining. And you know what? if you're playing for a 0-0 tie, you should get 0 points. But I see you shaking your head, Lou. Go on.
Yeah, because I don't think you're always playing for a 0-0 tie. It just happens. So when Allison stands on his head and you've had 9 chances to score, you get punished for that? Like at some point, what do you want, a slam ball court and guys can jump on a trampoline?
No, but I think it would cause. Like think about all the low blocks that play against Juve, just hoping for a 0-0 draw. Like they're not
well,
those
now they know they're going to get one in transition.
Those relegation battle teams who are just happy to get 1 point against the big boys. Well, they're not going to get that 1 point anymore if they manage to squeak it out. So they're going to have to do something, change some sort of tactics to not get 0 points, because it's just like a loss.
Fair, but that's the beautiful art of football, and do you expect these small minnows to come out and try to play? I think that happens a lot in La Liga, and that's why you see some lopsided scores, right? Because they're trying to entertain. Where in Italy, you got to appreciate those tactical matches, right? And I get it. It's more boring. Let's face it. We're more bored with these Serie A games. Yeah, as a fan, I'd much rather see 6-0. As a soccer coach, I appreciate tactical brilliance even from these teams. And then you never know what can happen. Monza is up 2-0 against Inter, just like that. Granted, they lost, but I'm just saying that's what you get.
So you're not here for it. The half volley's off target here.
No, I love half volleys.
This is Alam's half volley from 35.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah, and for that reason, I'm out.
It's okay. So Piqué comes from the Kings League mentality, but a lot of what he said and his rationale behind what he was saying made sense, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a business, right? Like footy is a business, right? Like Serie A, we like watching it, but I tell you guys all the time, in terms of how can Serie A clubs get back to where they were at the late 90s and 2000s? They need to get the consumer's eye. Like at the end of the day, footy is a business. And that's what the Prem has capitalized on. It's fast-paced. It's energetic. The fans are crazy. There are very little 0-0s. Like there's always something happening. Even like if 18th place plays against 16th, there could be a 3-3 game, right? So we're like in Serie A, if Genoa is playing Venezia, no neutral fan in the world is watching that game right now.
I'm watching that game.
None. Not one person's watching that game.
What about if you got Genoa striker?
Genoa or Venezia. But if you start adding these incentives to make teams come out of their shells and play, does it get more viewership? Because it's always the same chirps for Serie A, right? Like, I
will say I'm skeptical only because when you start tinkering with the beautiful game, then it's a slippery slope. You start changing one thing, you start changing another, and then what? I already wasn't. I get it from the big picture with the substitution change, because there's just so many games now. There's just so many games. You have to have more substitutions. But I was big. I didn't like that when that came out. The 3 subs. I feel like it made your subs valuable, and you had to pick them properly, the timing properly. But I get why it was done from a player safety perspective. There's just way too many games that people are playing these days. So that's fair. Next one. Neymar, he's back, eh? Penna, your boy. Neymar's back. He's been on a, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been on a little bit of a run, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's played more games already, I think, than he did in Saudi Arabia.
But that's coming to a halt now, because guess what time of year it is?
Well, we all know in South America what time of year lines up. It's his sister's birthday, so Neymar won't be playing. It's the gift that keeps on giving. The rumor was while he was at PSG, because they included whatever he wanted in the contract because they wanted him so bad, it was actually an inclusion in his contract that for his sister's birthday, he would fly back to Carnaval in Brazil because it lines up at the same time. And he would be in Brazil in Carnaval while his teammates were in Paris training for games.
Nice.
And now he's in Brazil, so now he's so close to the action, but he's still utilizing the I'm injured so I can go to my sister's birthday. So I'll tell you what.
Inter Miami next year, though? What do we think?
I got to get an invite to this birthday party because I imagine this must be something extravagant.
Something we can't talk about for sure.
Every year that he cannot miss it. He cannot miss it.
What a good brother.
What a legend.
He's a good brother. He's a good brother.
Yeah, great brother.
He must like
one of her friends. He must have something with one of her friends or something.
Lou, is that a little Pinot Grigio?
No, it's just straight water, actually.
Wow.
Fancy. Just like your new microphone. Shout out to your new mic today.
I feel like it takes. Look at this.
Wow.
You know when they talk like that?
You honestly look like Noah Beck or Josh Richards.
Right? Looks sick.
Bring that to training tomorrow and
Do
interview.
you want me to
Karn.
play a sound
Should
for
I
you
make
so you can start
myself-
dancing?
Yeah, they mic up like 9-year-olds in game awareness these days.
No. And they're all
You
about
want to
it.
play
The dads are all about it. I can't wait to do youth football dad segment. That's coming.
Coach's Corner. I'm going to call that segment Coach's Corner,
That's coming.
and you get to just rant.
Rant and just tell you stories. I'm going to tell a story. And someone's going to get called out where they're going to listen to the podcast and be like, that's me. But whatever. That's life.
Guys, last half-volley hot take here before we wrap it up. I saw this week Gianni Infantino, president of FIFA, is flirting with the idea of having Drake perform at the halftime show of, I was going to say Super Bowl, but that would be wrong, of the World Cup. You guys here for this? Is this half volley on target or is it off target? Is this just marketing ploy? Are you here for it? You got to think Drake will jump all over this because we all know World Cup bigger than Super Bowl.
You want
at the end of the
get
day.
the one up on Kendrick, so he's all over this.
Penna, you're the TMZ guy. Give us the scoop.
Listen,
And be careful because Jamal loves Kendrick. You can't say anything
big
bad.
Kendrick.
Is that true?
Yeah, big Kendrick.
Yeah, Jamal's a big Kendrick guy.
And he hates Drake because of it?
I don't know if he hates Drake, but
I don't think he
only
hates
bragging.
Drake.
he's on the Kendrick side.
He's on the Kendrick side.
Again, like it takes like the traditional like footy experience away a little bit, but again, Infantino's a businessman. He's already expanded the World Cup to more teams. There's already talks about adding even more teams going forward.
Sons of CI might get a bid in the World Cup. One of these.
Yeah, we got to start to chisel down our treeps if we want to be part of 2030. But
Well, Franco said if we train for like 2 weeks, we could probably play a good 20 minutes.
No,
well,
just
Franco
me,
thinks
him,
that
and Frank
if we,
Bruno.
well, I mean, Franco thinks if we train for 3 weeks, we can beat Pep's Barcelona. I'm not sure the level of delusion that he's on, but it's next level. Anyways, I think it might happen. And like, I don't even know if I'd be too upset about it, to be honest. Like, we've all been at footy games where we, halftime, what's it for? Well, footy games in North America, what's it for? We're going to line up for 18 minutes to get a beer and a snack, right? Because that's what we do anyway. So why not, let me watch Drake perform halftime instead of going for my snack, right? Like it's like.
So what's his song? What's his set list? Go. 4-song set list. 4-song. What is that? 4 times
and
4.
Lil Wayne pops out with Kanye and Eminem.
Whoa.
That'd go crazy. That's never happening, but that would be crazy.
And Lil Wayne's got scissor and he can't open his eyes.
So give me the set list. Let's go.
Wants to be associated with Lil
But
Wayne.
like he can't hit us with like best I ever had, even though it's an absolute banger. But like he can't hit us with that.
No, maybe like a blem
or controller.
Controller.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm never on a Westin, Charlie.
Maybe Mob Ties.
Western Road Flows.
Whoa.
Hey. Let's get the song. Let's narrow this down. Let's do the work for Champagne Poppy right now.
Okay.
And let's do his 3-song halftime Super Bowl set list.
Okay, back to back, forever. What else? You guys gotta help me here.
Trophies. You gotta think trophies is high on the list.
With trophies.
World Cup final.
And then Joey Bats just comes out.
This is ridiculous, eh? Well, no, Rihanna comes out, but they're okay with her. I don't know his set list. Can I say something to add to this hot take, though? I think, and me and Loms talked about this because we went to go watch 4 games in 5 days, and seeing how in Italy or whatever, how they do the halftime show, the entertainment is in the soccer, and that's what it's all about. You don't have these kids on the field playing this game with the pizza guy throwing pizzas and T-shirts at you and parachutes coming down.
The activations.
Yeah, you don't have that because the entertainment is on the field. But Infantino has it right. He's coming to North America for the World Cup. These people need more entertainment. They're used to it. Yeah. They're used to it in these North American sports. So I think if there's a time to start it, it would be in North America. And let's face it, I'm here for it if it's Drake. I mean, I love Drake. Shout out to Brax.
And like at the end of the day, it will put more eyeballs on the game, which I know is crazy because it's the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Lisa's not watching the World Cup final unless something's happening. She watches the Super Bowl just for the halftime show because they like who's going to perform.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's a ratings game. Like I just said, it's a business at the end of the day. If you can get more eyes and more viewership and more dollars into your sport, you capitalize on that. And Infantino's taking that road, right? He's not leaving any stone unturned. He's seeing how can we maximize this. And like Luca says, perfect market for a halftime show. Because when you go to a Raptors game and you got the guy on a pogo stick juggling, like people are there watching it. As ridiculous
It's not
as
the
it is.
Flint City Mega Bowl.
Yeah, like you got Jackie Moon fighting a live bear next week.
Spumoni.
And then Marvin's room, and then it just busts out into Marvin's room.
Where'd you get those nachos from? Where'd you get those nachos from?
I'll tell you this
from
much.
home.
I'll
Whoa,
tell you this
time
much,
out.
and I'm gonna end it on this. If Kendrick did the halftime show for like, what does he have, like 3 songs? Like, what does he even pick from?
Oh,
like we can't even
Shout out to
decide
Drizzy.
on Champagne
Shout out
Poppy's
to
set list
Drizzy.
here
I can hit you with 28 songs right now.
right now.
Right now.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap on episode 2 of the comeback here. A big shout out again to our sponsors this week, Marbell Contracting and Lookout Windows and Doors. Appreciate your support. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, share. Tell your friends, tell your family members, your Zios, your Zias, everybody. Just tell them all. Right? Any Zia, just tell all the Zias.
I got one shout out for
Go.
for the Sunday League Footy boys that were big listeners to episode 1. We appreciate the support, but I will say Nacarado is the biggest cheater in the history of Sunday League ball. It's insane. The guy goes around dribbling a ball like he's playing basketball. I've never seen a guy commit more handballs in my life. And then it starts with a goal kick because that's our rule. Bart made a rule, no PKs in Sunday because we argue about PKs. So now Nacarado's out there swatting balls and starting with goal kicks.
Smart.
That's all I'll say.
Maybe he's picking up volleyball.
Shout out to all the Sunday League boys.
You made it, eh? You made it to the Sunday League even after poker.
Dude, 7 a.m. Best time to play some footy, man.
With the hour change. Good on you.
I heard there's a crazy sign-up sheet. Like there's a lineup like outside.
Dude, he literally drops it. He had to say a time now. Monday, 1 p.m. He drops it. The list is full by 1:10.
Bart's the man. And shout out to people saying Bart looks like Ben Affleck.
Yes.
He looks exactly like Ben Affleck.
Bart is literally Ben Affleck. Bart was actually the one dating Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
I just figured that out.
Yeah.
It wasn't Ben. It was Bart.
Ben Affleck.
Okay, guys. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week. See you next week, boys.